In three, two, one. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Back and Forth. I'm Kevin, and this is my co-host,
Shanelle. Hello, everybody.
Shanelle Renee. Yeah, that's her again this week, guys. And hey, we are back another week with some great topics and some great discussions. And what I want to do this week is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to let Shanelle bring us in. Go ahead, Shanelle. Take us to the break.
Well, first of all, how was your week, Kev?
And again, she did it again. I gave it to her. I threw her alley-oop and she couldn't do it. So I'm going to take it. Check this out. What would you do if you and the other parent are always having to fight about money, money, yeah, yeah, money, money, yeah, yeah. Let's go. Everybody, welcome back. Hey, this is another great week of great topics. But before we get started, I'm going to do this. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and notify so you know when we coming out and putting out that content again. But before we get started, Shanelle, tell the people how your week went.
Oh, I thought you wouldn't ask. I had a great week. I had a great week. I'm excited about our topics today as well. But overall, I had a great week. How was your week, Kev?
My week was great. See, one word sentence, how we keep it short. Get right to the point.
Really? That's how we doing? That's how we doing this week?
My week was great, and I'm happy to be back here again doing this one more time, giving y'all that fresh, funky content. That sounded so whack.
Really? What?
I took that back to...
We are so happy to have you back in the States, Kev. We are so happy to have you back because you just bringing all kind of energy to the show today.
Notice the backdrop is back. I'm back in my room, my office again, doing this thing. So, Shanelle, it's been the summer has started, or some say it's getting hot out here. But, I know just discussing stuff with you that we have had a lot of good topics out there. But before we do anything, because you didn't do it, and I wasn't trying to set you up, but you said something, but you didn't introduce yourself. Her name, my co-host, her name is Shanelle Renee. And you can find her on IG at Shanelle Renee Speaks. I'm going to put it down on the bottom of the thing. You can find me at Kevin_L_Scott. That's if y'all want to find us on IG. We'll talk about the rest, how you can reach us later in the show. But I just wanted to make sure I cover it from my co-host because, she's so excited about getting to these topics. But now, yes. Shanelle, go ahead and bring us in.
Yes. Well, Kev, we're at the end of the summer now, and we've kind of gone through graduations. We went through, kids going to visitations for the summers, all kind of stuff that happens for co-parents during this time of year. But the one thing I do kind of want to mention is how we handle Mother's Day. How do we handle Father's Day, with co-parents? What you think? Because you've been a dad for a long time.
First of all, you didn't have to say it like that. Like for a long time. But that's a good question. Those holidays, while on paper, they seem to be straightforward. Mother's Day is for the mothers. Father's Day is for the fathers. But what happens when you run into a situation where if you have joint custody, shared custody, sole legal custody, and you live in, let's say you live in two separate locations. And so you have an agreement that the children will go from one parent to the other during those holidays. If it's Father's Day, the children will go to the father for that weekend. If it's Mother's Day, the children will go to the mothers unless they're with that parent. You know what I'm saying? So if they're with that parent already, you don't have to swap and exchange. But sometimes feelings get involved in those holidays. And why do I say that? It's because I've seen situations where it's Father's Day, and because the two parents don't get along and the child may live with the mother says, well, the child's not coming to you for Father's Day, like it's some kind of punishment or something. What good is that going to do to father? What good is that going to do to child? Because we both know the impact of alienation and how it could affect a child. So you hold a child back from seeing the father or the mother, who say it was vice versa, because of what you are feeling about the other parent. You're not thinking about the child's welfare at that moment, because what are you supposed to do? Now I can see if you were geographically separated so far where you couldn't make that happen for over a weekend. But however, we need to make the attempt to try to make that day go as smooth as possible for the child and that parent. I mean, I don't know what kind of situations you've seen, Shanelle, but I've seen a lot. What about, I mean, have you seen anything that was like, for say, I don't want to say ratchet?
Oh God, yes, I see ratchet a lot. But I try to make the people understand that ratchetness is not going to benefit you in the long run. Ratchetness, you are not going to win in the long run when you include ratchetness in your decision making, especially with your children. Do ratchet by yourself. Don't do ratchet with your kids, okay? But yes, definitely, my son's father and I, we have shared custody. Okay, see here we go. Here we go. What I do now?
Keep going. No, keep going. You know, keep going. That was good. That was a good point. That was a good point.
On probation.
I
always stay on probation.
That was a good point. Go ahead.
But my son's father and I, we have shared custody. So we literally have him both equal time. And we live 10 minutes away from each other. So it's really, really convenient for us to do these things the things that we do. I just particularly feel that it's important for the child to understand honoring their parents from both sides. Because the Bible talks about, and I don't want to make this churchy, but the Bible talks about honoring your parents. It didn't say whether you live with that parent, you don't live with that parent, what this parent got going on against that parent. It don't say anything like that. But it says honor your parents that your days may be long. And if we truly say that we love our children, we will make sure, as much as we don't get along with that parent, may dislike the other parent, that we instill some things that's going to help our children have a long life by a simple principle that the Bible gives us. So I'm really big on honoring, my son honoring his father for Father's Day. It happens for me from some years it don't happen for me. But regardless of that, I only can be responsible for what I do. And so, again, yesterday, he normally stays with me over the weekend, but we made a special trip to make sure that he was able to honor his dad yesterday for Father's Day, or on Father's Day. We made that special trip happen because, like I said, I'm really big on instilling certain principles, or all the principles that I can instill in my child, so that he can reflect back when he is old and not depart from it. But as far as the ratchetness is concerned, Kev, I see ratchetness all the time, but I have to say this, that when I'm consulting someone that has a idea that their ratchetness is warranted, I have to go back to the word, because there's no excuse for it. There's no way around it. You may feel justified some way, shape, or form, but at the end of the day, I think you got to hold on to something that is more solid than your feelings.
So you make some great points, but what we don't want to do is alienate people, because there are probably some parents out there who are saying, "Well, you don't know my situation." First of all, we can't hear you, but I know you might be saying that in your mind. You don't know my situation. Your situation is unique. Yes, your situation may be unique. There may be some circumstances, things that happened in the past where you may not feel safe. You may not feel your child safe in that environment. And we're not talking to the people who may be going through legal issues, or some issues where there's the police or the authorities got involved. We're talking about people who are going through regular, normal divorce, separation, co-parenting. I don't want to go through. Here we go. Co-parenting, bonus parenting, other parenting, blended family. Yeah, those type of people who have those type of issues going on. However, sometimes we know that the feelings do get involved, and we know that things may not always be what they appear. And I just want to make sure that I'm clear about this. The interaction that you have between your child and that other parent on these special days, the Mother's Day and the Father's Day, go a long way towards establishing how your child will react in the future. Meaning this right here, I have six children, 3 grandchildren. And I know how important it is because, talking to my son on Father's Day is important. Talking to my daughters, my stepdaughters on Father's Day is important. And it may be important to them because like Shanelle was talking about, honor thy father and thy mother so your days are not cut short. That thing means something serious because the attitude you have towards your parents right now, if you're a child and because your mind's been filled with things that the other parent may have told you, as you get older, you may start seeing through those things. And sometimes your words and your actions can hurt. It can hurt the parent also, just like we can hurt our children. A child's action can hurt the parent also. So we have to be careful with that and monitor that. I know we have to be the adults. We have to be the adults and we have to be able to overlook some things. But we also know that thing hurts. So we want to make sure that we are telling you as parents that be careful what's said and what's done because you do not want those things to be in the future to come back to, I don't want to say haunt us, but to come back and be playing on us in the future with things that we did 10, 12 years ago that we might not remember, but the child does.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go on a long rant there.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right because we only get a short period of time. It's 18 years, but that's still a short period of time in the grand scheme of life. Mm-hmm. And so we have a short period of time to really make a huge impact on the trajectory of our children's life. But I do want to kind of go back to that point where you were saying where that other parent may not be safe or there's some legalities in the mix, where it's not possible for that child to be present with that other parent, right? So hopefully you as the parent watching this, hopefully you are the good parent. You have established some mentorship, some father-like figures or mother-like figures in your children's lives so that they can honor them. Because they're gonna need that other part.
Yes.
If that mother is not a fit mother for them to spend time with her, or that father is not a fit father for them to spend time with him, they're going to still need a mother-like figure or a father-like figure or mentor in their life to bring that other element that only mothers can bring or only fathers can bring. So I do want to mention that point. If that is not happening, that should be one of the priorities that you have to bring into your children's life.
And those are very good points. And we hope that you as parents are soaking in a lot of the stuff that we're giving y'all because, like I said, we're giving you stuff from our experience, from talking to different clients, the experiences they have. And, because this is not something we just throwing against the wall and just making stuff up as we go. Some of us have lived it or someone else has lived it that we know of, and we can share that with you. Because, if it's not holidays or visitation, there's another common thing that causes friction with co-parenting and their relationships, and that's money. And
say that again.
I don't remember what I said. I said, and that's money. You're not gonna try to get me to repeat this and mess me up, but it's money. Because, for some reason, money seems to rear its ugly head as being a problem in a lot of relationships because someone's always trying to tell somebody else how to spend their money, how their money should be handled, or what they should be doing with their money for someone else. And when it comes to co-parenting, it also becomes an issue because we ran across something. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it, Shanelle. Here we go. It's
you and these glasses.
It says, our children each had their own little savings accounts. My husband closed all the accounts and took their money. Money was never repaid. The kids learned a hard lesson about their dad. So, Shanelle, with that being said, how do you feel about that situation right there? Money being taken from the children's.
In the little savings account. I got a story. Story time. It's a story time. So this happened to a client of mine. She somehow, some way, the husband ended up getting kicked out of the house. Not really getting kicked out of the house, but leaving the house. Broke the little girl's piggy bank Took all her little money out of there. Took all her little money out of there.
That's
And go ahead.
nothing else.
It was. But it's to me. I'm like, how low can you be to go through the process of breaking the porcelain piggy bank to take the little money out? Like, you really that low? Like, you really that low? So I remember my client was telling me about this, and I that anger was just welling up inside, because it was the principle of, you broke this little girl's. The little girl ain't what, but two or three, so the money that was in there was like, money for birthday parties, and how us as parents, we put spare change in our kids' banks and stuff. So you literally had to break this thing to get the money out. You broke it and left the pieces there and took the money. So thankfully, the daughter didn't see it. The mom just realized what happened. Of course, she started her actual account at the bank. But it just goes to show how low people can be and how ugly people can be, even with their own children. At this point, I think that when you see this person display this type of behavior with their own children, you've got to document it legally. You need to document this stuff, because it needs to be where you're stating facts, not just these feelings. It needs to be some things that are documented as facts. So when it does come back around for these receipts, because trust and believe, these kids are going to be trying to figure out what happened, right? These are the receipts they're going to get. But if it's all about, I felt this, I felt that, they're not trying to hear all that. They're really not, because I counsel kids that are looking for receipts from these parents. And they're not caring about these feelings. Well, you felt this way. You felt you liked this person. You didn't like. You felt. They're not looking for that. They're looking at these receipts. They want these receipts. Why wasn't my dad there? Why wasn't he this? Why wasn't he this? Why did you do this? Why didn't you pay this? They want to know.
Yes.
And what are you going to be able to say and show them that is going to suffice for why you behaved the way you did, and how you try to protect them, or how you didn't protect them? What do you think?
Well, I always go back to this right here. Don't get caught up making lifelong type of issue, or something that's going to last a long time, based on a temporary emotion or feeling that you may be feeling right now. Ooh, and if you are the parent who's done this, you know what I'm talking about. You got caught up in your feelings, and you made a decision because you were trying to get back at somebody right now. Yes. Or you felt that it was your right to do something, so you did it. Everything else be darned, so you did it right now, not thinking about what's going to happen 2 years from now, a year from now, heck, even 5 minutes from now. You made a lifelong decision based on a temporary emotion or feeling that you had. So this man here has taken money literally out of his children's mouths. He's taken whatever, it could have been pennies saved, pennies earned, whatever. He took the money out the savings account, knowing that you didn't need that. This is almost equivalent of this right here. You know that some people who don't know how to spend money, winning the lottery will be the worst thing for them. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is right here. This man taking the money out of that savings account for those children, I wonder how far that money got. Probably didn't get far at all. It probably didn't get far at all, but at the moment, he probably felt good. Like, I got it. I got this. I tell you what, she won't be getting none of this from me. How she gonna feel when she see this? When she go to the account and the account empty. And I got the money in my pocket. I'm just looking at her, waiting at her, laughing. And then I might deny it because I don't want to hear her mouth in the first place. Or let me see how she feel, because now I don't one-upped her.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense whatsoever? No, it doesn't. Your feelings and your issues with the other parent are just that. Your feelings and your issues with the other parent. Because sometimes people try to move on. And if you're still holding on to those old issues, doing silly things like little childish things like busting out a piggy bank that the child have, or going to the savings account and taking out money and never giving it back, it may catch up with you in the end, and your children may feel some kind of way going on later on in life. And now you have to apologize for them for something that was done. I don't want to use the word. I'll say it. Stupidly.
Yeah.
On your part.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, the reason I think she may have coined it narcissistic, I think it was narcissistic divorce or something like that. She said, is because oftentimes narcissistic personalities, that the way that they continue to feed this personality is off of attention. And like you said, there was no reason for him to steal from the children.
Yeah.
I can see you closing off your joint account. Do that. But to close the kids' account and keep the money, you trying to get attention. Now oh, she's not talking to me. She's trying to move on. This gonna make her call me. This gonna make her go off. This is gonna get her attention.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's how they feed this. And you starve the narcissist by not giving them attention. So she perhaps was not, like she was trying to move on. She's trying to move on with her life, and she knows that this relationship is over, but this is another attention-seeking behavior.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we've got to make sure. I remember going through this with another client, and there was no rhyme or reason. It was all about the attention. I said, don't call him. Don't call him. You don't need to. Let it go. This is about getting attention, and he's trying to get your attention. He's trying to stay relevant, and if you call him, you're going to start this cycle all over again.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I understand that. I mean, if you don't, it's like a baby. When a baby is first learn how to crawl or walk, or a baby is a small toddler and they fall down. And remember what they say, if you don't look or you don't pay attention, the baby will get up and keep going. But the minute you say, oh no, the baby starts crying because they know that it's an attention getter. And so I got you now. So if you don't feed into it, if you let the other parent have their little spat or whatever it is, and you don't feed into it by saying nothing, it may stop. I mean, if you don't give it any attention, you don't give it any oxygen, it won't continue to breathe. It'll just stop and it'll fester off and go about its business. So that's that this right here. I don't like playing with money because, for one, fathers, if you know how the system's set up, a lot of fathers feel that the system is set up against them in the first place when it comes to child support and everything. But when a father goes and does this and takes money from the children out of spite or whatever is going on, that does not bode well for other fathers out there who may be trying to do the right thing, and then this kind of stuff pops up and it makes everybody else look bad. It's like you taking everybody else down. It's that crab in a bucket, crab in a barrel thing. You get one father that trying to do what's right for their children, and then another one does something wrong, and we all get blamed for it. Got nothing to do with this. And so we have to be careful. Because we're not only living for ourselves, we're trying to set the example for our children. And what kind of example are you setting if you are going through and taking the money from your children?
Whew, that's deep. That's deep right there. And it's like you said, they set a bad example. Let's say he didn't do that.
Okay.
Let's say he didn't do that. Perhaps they could have had a conversation where they could have made some agreement or some settlement that could have still benefited their children.
Yeah.
But do you think she wants to talk to him now? I wouldn't advise her to.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
exactly.
It really kind of has a domino effect when you just like you said, make a decision just off of impulse in that moment. It could destroy what could have been a pleasant event. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so, we talked about money. Yeah. Money. Yeah. No, you're offbeat. Let me.
I think it's your whole mouth movement, Kev. I mean, your mouth is moving, but it wasn't no sound.
Let me handle the beat and staying on tune. Here you coming in all wrong. Money, all off beat. Clapping on the ones and the threes. That's okay. Go ahead. Hey. You had no reason.
I'm so done. So done.
I was doing something
I'm
simple.
so
Here
done.
you come. You doggone. Hey, I tell you what. I don't want to jump off or belabor any of these points. I want to still make sure that you all are going hitting that like, subscribe, and notify button so y'all know when we're putting this content out there, because the kind of stuff Shanelle be doing to me every week, I'm quite sure everybody want to tune in and see how I be getting abused, because it's happening weekly.
I stay on probation here, okay? I stay on probation here, okay?
Whatever you say. All I'm saying is right here. We got another hot topic as we come into this last one here for the week. We got another hot topic. Fire. She don't even know anything about that, so she don't know nothing about that. But
I'm an 80s baby, okay?
Shanelle, you had something for us, and I'm quite sure the viewers might be interested in knowing what's this hot topic and what was it about?
Yes. So speaking of money, check out what this person said. My ex tried to get me to pay for his divorce attorney, get sanctions against me, and everything else. He shared information about the child support I received with our son, which was far less than guidelines. So our son will feel guilty about things I got for him. Then my ex got our son to jump ship and live with him. So no child support could be received, and I'd have to pay him during COVID and while on unemployment. Didn't happen. I opened a trustee account for our son under my name only when he was born. The funds are a combination of baby shower money, gifts I received for him, my personal contributions, and my son's savings money he earned or received. He's also known the money will be turned over to him when he's 18. That's going to be soon. My ex tried to get the court to order me to close the account and give him the money, and his lame attorney tried to demand I provide records for the account. The stupid judge only ordered that I couldn't close or transfer funds from my own trustee account for our son. My ex is a money-hungry, narcissistic, alcoholic, cocaine-abusing, selfish person. # loser. Wow. Okay, so I see some things that are a little questionable, but I want to hear what you got to say, Kev.
Well, all money ain't good money. And so it's obvious that there are some other issues going on behind the scenes here. Because just like in the last subject here, somebody's caught up in their feelings. And so they are lashing out. And this situation right here where this father's lashing out is going to really cost money. Because what good is this situation if you, as a parent who has the issue of the parent, are costing the other parent money to the point where they can't even survive, they can't pay child support or take care of the child when they're over to visit because you have run them through the ringer? That makes no sense. And I'm not just talking about this situation right here. I'm talking about a situation from either parent, whether it's a woman or a man who's doing this.
Yeah.
If you are to the point where you are just trying to suck the other person dry to where they have nothing, what good is that for the child? I've seen it happen before where somebody got somebody so they went and claimed back child support and they were so far in arrears so they took the state took the person's driver's license so they couldn't drive to get to work. So they couldn't provide for their family that now they have now, not only theirs, but they couldn't pay child support. So you keep going further and further into arrears until the person was sent to jail.
Yeah.
What good is that for the child when their father's in jail? And for this father to do what he's doing, there has to be some serious animosity going on. And no telling what happened. Was some infidelity that went on? Was some lying going on? Or something else happened? Nothing needs to be going to this level where you are literally about to take money from your children so you will affect their livelihood. To me, This right here, this is a no-brainer where this should not even gotten to this point in the first place. But now that we are here, so this type of relationship is going to be hard to come back and heal from. So we talk about in my line, co-parenting communication. How can you have a conversation or communicate with someone who is dragging you through the mud and literally trying to take everything from you? And then you say, well, it's nothing too big that you can't come back from. This right here, this situation right here, it's going to be hard for somebody. It's going to take time to heal these wounds.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I say this all the time, and I know you talk about it because you say nobody want to hear about a counselor. But let me tell you something: the people that handle co-parenting really well have either great mentors in their life, or a great therapist, or a great counselor, or a great attorney counselor. You know, because sometimes attorneys got to be a counselor too.
Mm-hmm.
So they have mature counsel in their life, right? The
Mm-hmm.
Bible, I'm going back to church. I don't know what's going on with me today, but the
Yeah.
Bible talks about in a multitude of counselors there is safety.
Mm-hmm.
And so many times, sometimes, like you said, we don't know if it was infidelity or what it was,
Mm-hmm.
but sometimes, like you say, take a step back,
Yes.
get wisdom, get counsel, because sometimes, even if you were the one in the wrong, you can, a soft answer turneth away wrath. When you take accountability for that thing and you say, you know what, I messed up, but for the sake of our kid, how can we work together? So much more peaceful. I'm not saying it's going to be roses every day.
Yes.
But what I am saying is that if you take accountability, so often it can turn the ship around a little bit, so that it's not so traumatic when you got to deal with the years of parenting that you got to do together.
Yes.
And like you said, with this, it's hard to come back from this. Now this child is almost 18 years old. What is that going to look like when he starts having his own children?
You'd be caught in that
What is his
situation we
wedding
talked.
going to look like?
Yeah, we get caught in that situation we talked about before, where now you want to have a relationship with your grandchildren, but you've ruined the relationship you have with your child.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. So yes, money is definitely a point of contention in co-parents. And I think that sometimes, I don't know if people do look at the big picture. Let's just say what you mentioned for being in arrears. So let's say the husband or the father lost his job and he got behind.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, communicate how we're going to make this work. I remember my son's father. He's always been a great provider, but he was kind of going through some challenges. We moved to Georgia. We moved to co-parent our son together because we're both from Kansas. But we went through our divorce and moved here so we could continue to co-parent. So I remember he was just kind of going through some challenges career-wise. Like he didn't know if he still wanted to be an educator or if he wanted to be a manager. He had several degrees, but he didn't really know what he wanted to do. So for a year, he Ubered. All he did was Uber. Okay? And we had to have a talk. Okay, Shanelle, how we gonna work this out?
Yeah.
And me, I'm thinking, I need you to show up as the best dad that you can. So if showing up as the best dad that you can means Ubering because you're not so stressed out from your management job that you had before, then do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I need you to show up as the best father you can. Now let's figure out how we're going to work this out as far as like our schedules, money, everything else. We'll figure that part out. But ultimately, I need you to show up as the best dad that you can show up as.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, I'm a mom through and through. I'm going to make it happen. But I'm not going to let you shirk your responsibilities either.
So you sound like one of those well-to-do, highfalutin, logical type parents there, huh? You just got it all worked out. You know, you need to show be the best dad you can be. But what about me? I'm sitting over here. I don't have nothing to do with this fool. What about that person?
What do you mean?
The person who might be saying,
about mom that said I don't want nothing to do with the fool?
well, yeah, I don't have nothing to do with him because the bottom line is it's his job to make sure you get this payment in here. I don't care what his problem is. I don't even want to talk to him. If this money ain't coming in, then we're gonna be making the call to the child support office.
Somehow we've got to remember why we slept with that person. I'm just gonna be honest. We've got to remember what was the good that this person brought to your life, and you lay down and have a child with them. Because we gotta stop making it that our child was a mistake. We gotta take that language out of our vocabulary because now we're counseling adults that feel like their whole life was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so no, this child wasn't a mistake. You knew what you was doing when you was having unprotected sex. Let's just be honest. And I'm not trying to bash that, but what I am saying is that all relationships don't work out. We get that. Yeah. But if the relationship didn't work out, okay, what was some quality about this person? And then you need to magnify that quality and try to figure out a way to communicate with this person in a way, if possible. I'm not saying it's 100% guaranteed, but if possible, communicate in that person to their strength. Mm-hmm. This person may not be a great person to be in a relationship. They may not be a good husband. They may not be a good friend, but they may be a great father.
Yes.
Okay, they may want to be. I've seen people that they had a crack addict as a mama and a drug dealer as a daddy. Okay, but
yes.
they ended up being a great father because they were like, I want to show up for my children because my parents didn't show up for me.
Yes.
So he may not have it all together, but he's going to try to his best to be a great dad.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you can figure out what that strength is, pull that strength out of him. You got it in you. Pull that strength out of her. You got it in you. There was something that attracted you to that person in the first place.
And nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. And stop living off the social medias and the internets, trying to look at these people, these parenting goals and looking at how they live their lives, because your life is not the same as theirs. Stop trying to live like somebody else and worry about yourself. And that gets a lot of people in trouble as it is, because they're trying to have a relationship they see on screen, and so or they see in the palm of their hand on their phone, and they're losing the reality that their situation is different than yours.
Yes.
And what you see on camera, we don't see what happens outside of the camera. What happens beyond the camera. We only live in our lives from what we see other people have. And we should be worrying about ourselves and trying to do what's best for our children. Because believe me, your children are not worried about the trying to have it. Put it this way. If I'm a child and I go over to my friend's house and he's got a mom and dad and they live together and everything's fine at their house, that child might be saying, well, so-and-so has a mom and dad and they live together. I like going to their place. It's fun over there. In reality, you too can provide the same thing for your child if you learn to have that communication with the other parent. And if it's to the point where that relationship is basically bad and you can't talk to the other person, you still can build up that parent in your child's eyes. Not saying that you had to say anything fake, but you can bring positive things to their mind so they can see their parent in that light, their other parent in that light. Think about other people than yourself. Think about trying not to be like somebody else and be who you are and give your child a reality they should have. Yes, your father may not be here, but he's the best dad you can be. We're so proud to have you as a child. We love you. And then things like that. You give those words of encouragement instead of words of discouragement and showing them things that are discouraging towards the other parent. Because you don't want to have to sit there and have a child who's going against the father too, or the mother saying bad things. A child should be in their place. And being in a grown person's place as a child is not where they need to be at in the first place. We have to be careful about these things and make sure that we are bringing people into the brighter light instead of bringing them into the darkness with us. Because like they say, misery loves company. But you don't have to bring your child with you into that misery.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I love that, taking out, extracting those positive things about that other parent and making sure that you highlight those things in your child's presence.
Yes.
You just never know what that will do for that child, because like you said, they may be going to their friend's house and their mom and dad is at the house and eating at the dinner table with them, right? Mm-hmm. And they may not see that in your house. However, they may be able to feel like they're not missing anything because they have a mom that loves them. They have a dad that loves them. They have a mom that shows up for them. They have a dad that shows up for them. And they're not really missing out. They're not really missing out. It's just that they just don't live together,
Yes.
And of course, we see that so often more now where we see blended families and, we see that more often now than we did years ago. But one thing I will say, though, is this. If two parents are just really, they want to work it out as far as trying to get this thing right, and they're just really, really struggling. You mentioned this before. Go seek counsel, seek a mediator, seek someone that is trained, experienced in this field, and make sure that you present the facts. You present, be honest and transparent in your sessions, because they'll figure out a way. That's their job. They'll figure out a way so that you guys can meet in the middle and have a loving relationship with your child, or your children. Y'all don't have to like each other, but you can show your children what it's like to feel that love from both sides.
Man, that is good, Shanelle. You know how to bring it home, because I don't know how you do it. I don't know if you got like an internal clock or something, but you know how to segue this thing and end us on a smooth plane. You be bringing that plane in for a nice little smooth landing. But you just did again. You did it again. You do it like every week. You bring it for a smooth landing. First couple of weeks there was a little rocky, and the wind was there. But this week you brought that thing in smooth. You brought it in smooth. So it's been another great week. So yes. Shanelle, tell the people what you got going on and where can they find you at?
So we out here impacting people's lives every single day. Let me tell you, we're impacting people's lives. We're impacting people's families every day. And you guys can find me. Y'all can find me on social media. Shanelle Renee Speaks on Instagram. Lady Shanelle Renee on Facebook. On YouTube, you can find me at Shanelle Renee. Just type in Shanelle Renee. Just Google Shanelle Renee. You can find me there. Okay. ShanelleRenee.com is my website. So all of that information is down below. But listen, you guys, we have a duty to our children, and we are responsible. We got to stand up and step up to the plate and make sure that we are bringing out the best in them. So that's what I got going on, Kev. So what you got going on?
Girl, I thought you was about to end this show without letting me get on before we said something. I was about to say, I got you again. I was going to say, that's another week in a row.
You're not going to get me. You're not going to get me. You're not going to get me, sir.
Honestly, I already got you. It's way at the beginning of the show, but we're not going to talk about that. But you can find me on Instagram. I'm posting content daily out there, nice little quotes out there for co-parents to have, shooting videos out there for them to go back and look at. But you can also, if you go to my bio and in Instagram, you can see where you can find all the information. I give you products and content out there to help you as co-parents with your communication skills. And if you think that you are in need of someone to help you with your communication skill with other co-parent, then by all means, I got free coaching consultation you can go to. You can find it on my website at teambyw.com. I'll put it down in the comments. Or you can go to that link in my IG page in my bio and you'll see that coaching consultation there also. Because I don't do this for me, I do this to help you. Because your situation is unique to you, but there may be somebody out there who's gone through it before that can, and I'm out there and Shanelle's out there. We can help you out in those situations to make you a better person and a better parent. So with that being said, Shanelle, take us home.
All right, y'all. So y'all go out there and be safe. Continue to be safe during this summer. Make sure you get your summer tan though. But be safe and put God first and stay safe. You don't need no tan. You don't need tan. Just a little bit. Tan. Like,
my elbows already dark.
Well, you're not talking about your elbows. I'm talking about, just get that summer glow. Just get that some sun. You need some sun.
Just make sure you put some suntan lotion on, something to cover some SPF. Plus whatever 15
sunscreen.
and sunscreen and don't put no Crisco oil on your arms. All right, let's go. We out.
Go out there, smell like chicken.